Hey everyone. Hi. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom and Wellness with me, Anuschka. I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer for those of you that don't know me. And for those that don't know me too, I actually went through an entire brain tumor journey back in 2017. Recently, I thought that I might have gotten a reoccurrence, and thankfully just as of last week we found out that looks like it's scar tissue, so yay for that. I've been super stoked since. And right now I started actually as of last week doing my Wednesday Wisdom and Wellness for everyone, and it was something I had started back during my journey in 2017 and 2018, but I'm called to do them again. And I've been getting a lot of different messages of different things that will make a huge difference for people. And today what I'd like to talk about is how to approach those that have been recently diagnosed with something, whether that's chronic disease or cancer, tumor, anything really, right? I've actually had people ask me, I don't know what to say to my friend or a family friend or a family member, loved one, or anything like that. And sometimes people will actually disappear because they just don't know what to say. They don't know how to have a conversation with those people that are going through the health struggle. And it really can impact those dealing with the health struggle, right? So that is something I really wanted to talk about, give you some tips on how to approach people. And I've done that in messages here and there. So I figured, hey, if people are asking me privately, then there's probably many out there that actually are curious about this. So how to handle this, right? When someone is diagnosed, it's a very individual thing. People handle diagnoses very differently, right? And there may be some people out there that are extremely private about it. They don't really want to talk to anyone about it. They want to be very much in their own bubble and not share anything. And that's okay. No judgment, right? One of the biggest things is you don't want to judge anyone. You don't want to judge them for however it is that they're doing it, that they feel like is best for them. That's key. Then there's other people that are totally on the opposite spectrum, like myself, and very, very open about their journey. And this is not typical. This is just how I am. This is what I'm called to do. It's actually my life's purpose. So it makes sense, right? For the most part, people are in between that. Okay, so for the most part, there's people that they're open to talking about it, but they don't want too many people knowing about it. They don't want to share their journey as much. And they're open to talking about it with those that are close to them. So first and foremost, if you don't know where they are at, the best thing you can do is say something really simple. Say something like, thinking of you. I'm sending you my love. I'm sending you prayers. I'm sending you healing vibes. Whatever works for you, right? We all have different beliefs, different faiths. So that's where you want to come from. You want to just say, no questions, nothing really, just thinking of you. That makes such a huge difference. And even further, if you are comfortable enough, you can even say, let me know if I can support you and how I can support you, or I am here for you. Again, I wouldn't come across in the form of a question, just letting them know, hey, I'm here if you need me. Another great thing that you can do, which is always nice, is send flowers and cards. I know I absolutely loved having my entire, first of all, I was like initially my hospital room, right? It was like filled with flowers and balloons. And then we brought all that home, and then there was more flowers that arrived. Flowers are very high frequency. So besides the fact that they're beautiful, they really are high frequency, and they can make a huge difference for those that are dealing with the health struggles or whatever it is that they're dealing with, right? And so when you send that to them, not only is an act, isn't that, not only, I'm like struggling here, not only is that an act of love, but you're actually providing them with some high frequency flowers in the house. And every time they're around it, not only are they feeling the love from the action, but they're actually feeling the energy of the flowers, which is really healing as well. cards, of course, too, right? So all that is always nice to have. The other part is just come from love. Whenever you're having a conversation, just make sure you're coming from a place of love. I've talked about a love bubble. I'm going to have a whole actual episode on this because the love bubble is very important. And I really believe in energy. And I know, like, we all know energy is out there. Everything is energy. So what you want to do is not come from a place of worry, not come from a place of concern. Because guess what? That has energy to it. And energy doesn't lie. So you can come across someone, have a big smile on your face, and then have all this worry and everything within you. Well, unfortunately, they're going to feel it. Whether or not they even feel it consciously, like I do, they're going to feel that energy. And so you want to really come from love and see them in their best version of them, see them completely healed. That is huge. That's a really big piece of it. And then you also want to check on the caregivers, support them. Sometimes caregivers honestly go through it worse than the actual people that are dealing with the health struggle because they're not in control. The person that's in control, that's going through everything, actually knows what's happening inside. But those around them, they have no idea. They have no control. They don't know what to do. They want to do the best they can. So be supportive of them. If they're struggling, if they're not in the best mood, if they're not returning your phone calls, allow them to be, have compassion for them. I remember with my own mom that she, not to get into too much detail, but she was getting crap from people because she wasn't responding to phone calls. And I just had gotten out of surgery and I'm dealing with all this stuff, yet people were putting expectations of her to return phone calls. Rather than being like, you know what, let me just keep on reaching out to her. And if she's not, texting her or something like that, right? And to me, that was a huge piece that I learned from, is to just allow people to really be and support them with love. That's what you can do. Put yourself in their shoes of how they're dealing with it, what they're going through. It's not easy. That is compassion. Now, there's some things that I also want to share about what not to do. And this is, again, mostly from, if not all, from experience, personal experience that I went through, right? So one of the biggest things I would say is do not give unsolicited advice or share your opinions without being asked about it. For the most part, when people go through these health struggles, especially something like cancer, for instance, they are doing their research. I swear the amount of research Anuschka and I have done in the last few years is like, I could be a doctor myself, and so could he. So if they ask for it, awesome. If there's like a question around it, it's like, oh, hey, has anybody heard? Or if there is a question, then that's when you want to provide your advice. Otherwise, I would say just keep that to yourself, because if anything, it's like the last thing they need. So imagine like 10 people giving all kinds of different, I mean, that is the last thing somebody going through a health struggle needs. Another part, don't show up to a hospital room unannounced. That is huge. I especially was very conscious about who I let in my room. I was only allowing people full of love. And there was a couple times I had people coming in that had a lot of worry and anxiety and concern, and I could feel it, and I had to tell other people to have them leave because it did not feel good to me. Now, I feel energy. I feel other people's emotions. Not everybody does, but even though they're not feeling it, doesn't mean that it's not impacting them. So make sure that if you are going to be visiting, which is great, for those that are, I mean, I had at one point 13 people in my ICU room. It was like a straight up party in the ICU. And that's okay, because it was people that I knew were full of love and we were laughing and having a good time, honestly. The other piece, don't go MIA. I've had people, and I get it, because sometimes it's like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to be. I don't know how to speak to this person. It's like uncomfortable, right? Well, it doesn't feel good when all of a sudden someone that you feel like you're close to disappears on you. I had that happen with several people, and I notice it. It's not like I don't, not that I dwelled on it, but it was very noticeable. You really get to know the people that are your true friends and those that are mostly there for you during the toughest of times. And I definitely had that experience. Go back to what I was saying earlier. If you don't know what to say, you don't have to say much other than thinking of you. That's it. I mean, you can go deeper, like I said, and say, hey, let me know if you need anything. I'll be here for support in any way. Just don't all of a sudden disappear and then show up a couple years later expecting that things are going to go back, because that's just weird. And another thing is, don't ask a ton of questions, especially when people are going through that whole post-surgery, for instance. I remember I had to wait 6-7 weeks, I don't even remember, but a long time for my pathology report. And I was getting questions left and right, messages. I'm already dealing with post-surgery healing, right? And I get it. All of it was out of love and concern, right? But I was constantly getting private messages asking me if my pathology report had come back. And finally, I got to a point where I had to post on Facebook, like, stop messaging me questions, because it impacts you. That takes energy to have to respond to multiple people, giving them the exact same, and I mean, this is just how I am, right? I like to respond to people. I'm not one to just ghost on people, but it also can be draining to do that. So consider that, hey, if you haven't heard from them, then they are not ready to share it, and they will share it when they're ready to. And you can always say, thinking of you, sending you good vibes for the report, or anything like that too. And the last piece, and this is honestly a personal trigger of mine. That's why I really wanted to bring it up, because I don't know if others out there get triggered by this, but don't assume that just because someone is going through a health struggle or is post chemo or anything like that, don't assume that they have a weak immune system or that their immune system is compromised. I can't even, during this whole pandemic, I can't tell you how many people have either told me or my mom or even Anuschka, like, I don't know if I should be around her. She might be compromised. Her immune system might be compromised. And definitely did not feel good for me. I'll be honest. It is a trigger of mine. I'm aware of that. Because one thing I'm aware of is I do everything to boost my immune system. And I probably have a better immune system than most people. I don't remember the last time I got sick. I didn't even get sick on chemo when everybody around me got sick. So for me, it's about that. It's about boosting your immune system and just being aware of what you say to other people, even if it's out of concern. Think about coming from love and compassion and how you would take it if someone were to come and say these things to you. So those are my tips. I don't know if any of you have any questions or anything like that, but if you do want to take your health and well-being to the next level, this is what I do. Like I said, I'm an empowerment health coach, and I also do energy healing. I actually have a new device that I'm absolutely loving, and I've been using it on not only myself, but I started to use it on my clients. It's so cool. I can send remote frequency to people. It's amazing. And I've been demoing it out with friends as well, because hey, I want to learn everything about it. But yeah, if you are wanting to take your health and well-being to the next level, or know anyone that is dealing with a health struggle or wants to take their health and well-being to the next level, feel free to message me for a free discovery session. I'm going to be doing these live every week, and you can definitely have a one-on-one with me. My biggest passion is really to make that difference for people, because I actually connect with my clients energetically, and I check their frequency throughout the call as well. That's something that I'm really passionate about. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Until next time, if not. And it looks like, oh, thanks, Naveed. All right, well, thanks everyone. And any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Bye. Like, as I look at both.